Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and like everybody else, I like gimmicks, and now and then I buy something that may not be well advised, such as this speed wrench here, speed handle. That's what they call it for a mill vise. And I bought the darn thing. It didn't cost much, you know. Shipping was probably as much as the purchase price. And I got it here, and it's too big for my, for my vise. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify this thing. And one of the first things that I'm going to do is show a picture of how I mounted my DRO on the Grizzly there, because somebody asked me, I can't remember who it was, and I thought I remembered what I did, and I didn't. So what I told them was a whole load of baloney, and I want to correct my mistake, but I can't figure out who said it, or who I told it to, and so I don't know how to correct it other than just the next thing you see here is I'm going to post a picture of how I really did mount the thing. So, old guys aren't very reliable, especially in remembering stuff when they're not standing there looking at it. Sorry about that. So let's show the picture, and then let's get on with working on this handle. I got one of those handles for the mill vise. It's got the three arms sticking out, and you just stick it on and spin it around. And the little fitting on the mill vise is actually 14 millimeters, and the thing I got was 3/4 of an inch, which is too big. So I bored it out. It makes sense, doesn't it? But really, what I was going to do was put this 14 millimeter socket in there, and that would have been lovely right off if I had just been a little more careful with running my boring bar in there. The first pass I made on it was deeper than I thought, and got it too loose. So that stuff, it cuts like hot butter. I don't know what it is. I guess cast iron. I don't know. Something that cuts really easy. It looks like cast iron. So I'm going to have to make a sleeve so that I put the sleeve in there, and then put this press that thing into the sleeve, and then maybe it'll fit right. It's one of those things that happens, So I need to look around here and find what size of a sleeve that I can make, and then bore the hole to fit the sleeve, hopefully. We'll see. I'll be right back. Alright, my latest check is that I'm at 957 thousandths, and I want to go to 1 inch. So right there should take it to 977. You can see the stuff coming out looks just like cast iron. It's about 983 thousandths there. I think you can see that. So, got to go careful. I want to be about 1,000th under 1 inch, and so I've got to just take small cuts. I said that was 983, so 10 more would be 993. I'm going to measure every cut, because I don't want to go over, because I'm running out of larger stuff to put in there. And this is not one of the good brands of telescoping gauges. This is one of the cheap kind, but it seems to work for me. Alright, there is 992. Well, I'm really close, 992. So I'm going to make some tiny little cuts to get there. 992. It'll probably take me to 996 right here. I know that Randy Richard or Stephen Gutzman, or either one of them, would have had that thing chucked up totally straight in a 4-jaw chuck. So I guess I'm kind of letting things down here, being sloppy. But we're going to get there, one way or the other. Alright, that's 998 right there, and that's where I'm stopping. I am not sure what the press fit is for 1 inch, but I'll bet I can squeeze it in there. If I can't, I'll clean it out a little bit. It's time to move to the hydraulic press. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a mark so I know which jaw that was on. There's about, 6 thousandths total run out, and not to mention whatever run outs from this thing not being straight too. So I can put it back in there in that same spot in the unlikely event that, well, I will want to when I get the piece in the middle. So hang on. The only thing I don't like about bandsaws is there's always such a darn problem keeping the blade on, at least for me. I don't know about other people. Probably other people have better luck. But for me, there's always a problem keeping the stupid blade on. That should sink right on through there. It's just aluminum. I'm going to keep this saw busy today because I want to make a couple of tool holders. A couple more of those quick change tool holders, and there's no better time than now. I threw a paper towel up there so that it reflected a little more light and you could see things better. It's not needed for the operation. But we're going to try to push this little booger in there, and it looks like it's going. So at least I machined something the right size finally. I may at some point try to adapt the 20-ton jack. Well, the battery went dead sometime around the pressing of this. I don't know what part of it, but somewhere in the middle of it. So that part won't be included, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how much of that it got before it died. All I know is when I got through pressing it in, it was dead. Well, I want to make some more quick change tool holders because I've discovered they're really super handy. In fact, that's one of mine right there that I just put on. And so I'm going to make at least 2 more. I may start on it today. I think I will. Alright, that looks pretty bad, huh? Wobbling around like that. One of the things I'm doing, I'm going to whack it just a couple of times to make sure it's really in there good and solid. And I'm hoping that'll hold it. Let me get something else. I need to turn that tool a little bit more towards the work, I think. I need to make a double boost handle for this tool post. I keep saying that, but I never do it. you got to do is cut loose all that stuff there. I'll bring you guys back on a little further along. Alright, I left the little piece I pressed in proud of the surface there, as they'd say, about probably 5,000, maybe 10. Not much, that's for sure. But I'll start the boring with a nice big hole, so I don't have to bore out as much as I would have to normally. In fact, I'm going to try to run a 3/4 inch bit through there. And this is going to be slow, so I'll bring you guys back again in just a second. Alright, here we go. Get a little squirt of lubrication on there, and away we go. Now I imagine I'll cut most of all this or speed it up or something, because I know you're not going to want to watch it all. Alright, it's going to continue on like this, so I'm going to come back after a bit. Alright, we're about 756 thousandths on this hole, and that socket is 781 thousandths, maybe a little over. So I want to try to get to 778, something like that, before I make a decision whether that'll squeeze in or not. And so we're going to make some nice small cuts. Alright, that said 762. And we want to go to 781, so I will bring you guys back when I'm close to the last cut. Alright, that measures out to be about 778, and I can almost start the end of that socket in there. This end almost start. So I think it's time to go back to the press and press the socket in there, because I think we have arrived at our size. Alright, let's move. Hopefully I didn't get it too big, but I was using the screw there and I've got it to go in some, so yeah, it's kind of worrisome, but it got tight there. Let's see what happens. We'll find out if it works or not anyway, won't we? It feels pretty tight, so undoubtedly it's tighter than I think it is. That should be about a 3/1000 interference fit, which I think is quite a lot of interference for this size, this diameter. But I didn't look it up anywhere. Well, that looks like it's down tight. Yep, that's flush. So there we are. I bet that'll do it. As much resistance as that gave going in, that'll do it. Let me back this zoom lens off. Make sure you get a good look at what it is. There's the socket in there. It's not barely sticking out any at all. And there's the back side of it. So I got a lot closer than I thought. We'll find out here in a minute. I'll set you up where we can see the vise. Alright, this is probably more expensive than the one I could have bought from the factory. And I think I can see a possible problem right now. Dad burn it. The handles are too long. Will it never end? Alright, so I guess next part of the project is to shorten the handles by an inch or so. Dad burn it. So what have I got here? Use the calipers to measure 380 something thousandths. See what it measures with this. Yeah. This guy says it's 387 thousandths. So that's not 3/8. It doesn't fit. If I measure it in millimeters, it comes out like 9.78 millimeters. 9.81, something like that. I don't know. And it looks like it's about 24 threads per inch, but it's not dead on. You can see this maybe. It's close. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's close, but it's not a real good fit into 24 threads per inch. So I'm wondering, does anybody still make stuff with Whitworth threads, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to look into this, and I'll come back, I guess. But I've got what I've got to do is I've got to cut about that much off. I could rethread the holes too to something that I've got, which I'll probably do, considering I'm not having a lot of luck figuring out what the heck that thread is. You know, dogs like to play biting games and pull on rope stuff and everything, but sometimes they're like little kids, you know, they get carried away and they'll actually break your skin occasionally. And I've always been popular with dogs. Here's a daisy tooth that's almost, you know, healed up. And here's a relative's pit bull, playing with that one. And here's a brand new daisy bite. And I got to thinking one day, you know, I've always been popular with dogs and cats and little kids. And I got to thinking about it, that maybe dogs like my taste. And then that led me to think, well, maybe from their viewpoint, I could possibly be the other white meat. Well, I've been taking some time to think about this guy here. And after careful thought, I decided that I really don't need to shorten these arms any at all. What I need to do is just pure and simple to back the table up a little bit or the one side where this clears the vise, and it, you know, I mean, where the arms clear the hand wheel down below, and that's a better solution. And if I need to be back further away from everything, well, then all I need to do is push out that short socket and put in a deep socket, which you can see would back this thing off somewhat, you know, about like that. So it may not be the world's best design for a deep socket, but it's got, I guess, not as much in it as this does. So while I was thinking on this, I like to take time to think about things, so I went on and started another couple of tool holders, like so. And I'm not gonna film any of that. You've seen it, but I'm gonna finish up on that while I'm thinking about what to do about the crane. And in the meantime, I've had time to go to Tractor Supply and get more bolts, which meant I needed then to go to Home Depot and get more storage. So while you guys take it easy, get your cup of coffee and whatever, I'm gonna arrange all this stuff, and we'll call this probably about the end of the video. Imagine you'd like me to see me use this at least once, so hang on. When I'm clamping stuff in the vise, I'm likely as not to have it out from under, you know, the head here anyway. And After all that just gets in the way of your setup, and you can't measure, line things up, or whack anything with a hammer. And so just put it here. And I don't think the length of the arms is actually any kind of a problem for me or anybody else. And that surely works a lot faster than whatever else comes into second place. I guess I could put a grill out here, but I don't want to do that. Then you got dead batteries to worry about. So we'll hear a little bit of entertainment here and then call the video done. I'll be back shortly with a little bit of Bubba joke. Okay? And in the meantime, you could consider subscribing. There was a couple of highway patrol out there running around on the road. They'd been out there all day long driving up and down the highway. One of them looks up and he says, "Hey," he says, "you know," he says, "our shift will be over another hour. We hadn't wrote a ticket one today." So yeah, one driver says, he says, "I'll tell you what, we'll stop the very next car that comes by." So here comes this old pickup truck, down the road, and they stopped, turned around, followed it. Pickup truck staying in this lane, giving all the right signals, staying under the speed limit, not doing a thing wrong. They followed him and followed him. And finally, one of the officers tells the other, he says, "I never seen an Alabama boy drive that good and that safe." He says, "We can't give him a ticket," but he says, "I think I'm just going to pull him over and congratulate him on being such a safe driver." So they pulled him over, and officer walks up there and says, "How you doing, sir?" And Bubba says, "I'm doing all right," and the officer says, "What?" He says, "You're not going to get a ticket or nothing." He said, I just noticed how really good you're driving here." And he said, "I thought I'd congratulate you on being so safe and all." And Bubba said, "Well," he says, "when you're drunk as I am, you got to drive safe." Well, that does it. Y'all subscribe and leave a few comments and keep on keeping on.